There's a huge temptation to be petty today. I am trying my best. I even did a live stream, guys, and I don't usually stream. I sat there and I was like, okay, I want to curate, some of my videos and the talking points and look through the data. But man, getting on Twitter and hearing how loud the silence from the PlayStation talking head side is almost deafening. I just cannot stop hearing a lot of the things that they said about Xbox gamers. Just, because I want to make the videos, right? I don't care about them. I don't have the personal investments, but I want to make the videos. So I'm obliged to listen to the opinions and to listen to the positions. And man, I just want to get petty. However, in getting petty, it's not going to resolve anything. But I have to go ahead and speak in general terms to talk about what's gone on in these last few months. Some names may arise because they probably put it on print and they were spearheading this whole thing. But you got to understand that now that Helldivers 2 has been announced for PlayStation, the so-called problems that a lot of people were complaining that Xbox had within its business have now been absolved. And I want to point out that these folk either didn't know what business should look like when Xbox was doing it and all of a sudden have now realized because PlayStation has given their blessing to move away from the platform, or they've been holding some kind of a weird underlying bias against Xbox. Look at this. I typed in on Google, Xbox strategy confusing. Do you know what I saw? AI overview. Xbox's current strategy is perceived as confusing due to a shift away from console exclusivity and a move towards multi-platform releases, including rival consoles and PC. This has led to the uncertainty about the future of Xbox brand and concerns about its long-term viability. Collating these sources over here, this is what the AI overview is telling you. So should I click any of these sources, the AI would be lying to me if it has interpolated anything that has not been written within these sources. And if it's actually basically, compiling it all, these sources are a bunch of junk and have fed a lot of people in the last year. And I remember there are so many guilty parties that friendly fire is actually going to be here if I start pointing out names. Now, am I mad at them? No. Some of them have looked at it and said, you know what? This is the direction things are going. And they have hopped on the train. They said, this is where Xbox looks like they're going. Seemingly, it looks like it's going to work. There were some indicators that make them say, okay, I'm seeing these Xbox games top the charts on PlayStation. Perhaps there's something here. All right. Those people, they made up their mind. They made their, their situation known, and they got flack for it. Don't get me wrong. They got flack for it. But I really need to go ahead and point out and say, gaming has always been, and you got to understand, as much as it's a subjective enterprise, gaming has always been that particular piece of entertainment that requires a lot of concrete aspects to it. Can you play the game? Can you not play the game? All of these different things, right? Yeah, it's subjective, no problem. But, how good is the game in this area? And all of these little things that when it then comes out to the news where we need to have, I think, the most objective analyses, to have been fed a bunch of rubbish for the last year or so is just quite amazing. Do you remember how many Xbox is Dead videos you've watched, or how many Xbox is Dead podcasts, or how many Xbox is Dead articles, or how many Xbox is Dead comments, or how many Xbox is Dead tweets that you heard, read, watched, or experienced when Xbox were moving their games to PlayStation? Do you remember? In fact, you know what's crazy about this particular game? PlayStation didn't even say anything about this game going to Xbox. No announcement, no indicator that was direct in that sense. Yet Xbox was, I think, respectful enough to come and tell its own audience that this is what it's doing. And in telling their audience, in talking, there were people who basically insulted the leadership at Xbox, talked bad about them, said they needed to retire and resign, while PlayStation didn't even ask the permission of the PlayStation ecosystem in this case, never even told you anything, told their investors, hey man, we're going to consider moving off console, thoughtful, chasing the money, and bam, they did it. They went right over y'all's heads. Pew! Bam! And so now, I don't see many of you on Twitter. I can't find you. I've been looking for you because, like I said, there's a huge temptation to be petty here. Just because I don't want to be petty doesn't mean, on mic doesn't mean that I'm not looking for. I'm looking for your posts. I'm like, oh yeah, what's going on? What's going on here? But I'm not seeing y'all's posts. None of you are saying much. Some of you want to try to backpedal, but no, you've created a box, ironclad box for yourself. Now listen, what does this teach us? It teaches us that, number one, a lot of people don't know jack squat about the gaming industry and have positioned themselves to be some kind of SME, subject matter experts. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not saying that I know anything about the gaming industry either. I'm just saying that all I did was I showed up and I read the instructions. That's it. Have you ever, been in a situation where you're trying to put together some furniture, right? I'm this kind of person. Guys, instructions, sure. They're recommendations. We just start, okay, this is supposed to fit here, it's supposed to fit here, right? And then all of a sudden you're lost, right? Sometimes you have the humility to call the wife and say, hey, man, I need help. Can you come and take a look at this? Sometimes some people don't have the humility and they keep going. And then before you know, they build a Frankenstein of a shelf or furniture piece that they're trying to put together. I'm the guy that showed up and said, where's the instruction manual? And that was the data. Because I'm the guy that constantly tries to build crap without reading the instructions. And it's okay if I do it in my own personal, space in my house, but to come on the internet and make such a fool of myself is actually more expensive. And that's why I was not willing to do that. That's all. It's all about self-preservation. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, well, because I'm that, I'm intelligent and I'm smart. No, no. It was just self-preservation. I was like, okay, if I'm going to say something, I need to be able to ensure that what I'm saying actually does have credence, merit, and at least some concrete knowledge base that we can refer to, so that I do not get dragged in the videos as saying nonsense, of which I still get dragged anyways, and I've gotten dragged. However, I don't find those people dragged. They've already run. They scattered like roaches. Y'all know, though, that Helldivers 2 is going to go platinum from a lot of the people that are on the walls, basically standing there with their green, if they make a physical copy of Helldivers 2 for Xbox, I'd love to buy it and put it in like a trophy case. I'll put it on the wall or something, because I was saying that this exclusivity thing is dead. I was talking about how it just is not sustainable. I was talking about how this was affecting the job market, how this was affecting developers. So but again, did I just make it up? No, I didn't make it up. I was just watching these guys. And so here's what I think we need to go ahead and take into account now is, number one, whenever somebody makes a video and says something or makes a claim, you got to be able to filter and say, is this their opinion or is this their whatever? Because let me go ahead and kind of attack Xbox is dead. Xbox is dead. A lot of these people were like, oh, Xbox is dead. And Xbox spent $80 billion. They said, no. It's the brand because they're bringing the games elsewhere. And it's like, well, PlayStation has games on PC. No. Xbox is a hardware because it's not selling as much as PlayStation. All of these qualifiers of Xbox is dead was, in my opinion, at its height when they moved away from console exclusivity. If you do not make a video telling me that PlayStation is dead, you are a fraud. I'm already suspicious of you, but I like to give the benefit of the doubt. If you do not make a missive and you've been on that train, either writing about it or whatever, or you come out and say, you know what? There must be something here that I've missed. And you just admit to it, which will be absolutely fine, actually. You know what I mean? Like, that would be great. Everyone will be like, yeah, we're glad that you woke up to the reality here. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to do that. Unless I'm expecting too much. But there is no dodging this one, guys. This is the one that actually hit the most This is not like MLB The Show or Lego Horizon. Even Lego was already the first. I don't know why everybody makes it seem like Helldivers 2 is like, oh my gosh, Lego was already the game. Don't get me wrong. And I was telling everybody, I was like, Lego has gone to Switch, guys. Lego goes to Switch. I told you, I said, guys, Lego Horizon Adventures is the most important game of 2024. Some people were looking at me going, nah, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. And I was like, come on, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. You know what I mean? And so it's very important, very, very important that we pay very close attention to what the gaming industry is doing. And I know, there's a fanboy side of us that, makes the content, writes the articles and such. But I'm glad all of you have now received clarity because PlayStation has done it. And I say that in a tongue-in-cheek way. Actually, what I want to say, because the petty in me is not wanting to stay suppressed, is that you're going to find a way to applaud it. Because now you can't, in a sense, move the goalpost. So your next aim is to applaud it and say, oh, live service games need players. Well, no kidding, Sherlock. I'm out. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.